Hi, I'm Alex McRickard, and I'm coming to you today for an update for the month of February in Virginia. In this month's fishing report, we're going to hear from Dr. Mike Bednarski, our Fisheries Chief here at the agency, in addition to Scott Herrmann, one of our regional fisheries biologists. Both Mike and Scott are going to highlight a few of their favorite tactics and techniques for targeting fish, even in the dead of winter, in shallow water conditions on lakes and reservoirs across the state.
Thank you for joining us for the fishing report for the month of February. Want to share a tactic with you all that I think will help put more fish in the boat this winter, and that's fishing a small swim bait. When we talk about a swim bait, a lot of folks think of fishing 5, 6, 7 inches and really looking for a bigger fish. We're talking the opposite end of the spectrum. Looking here at 2.5-inch swim baits on 1/16 ounce heads, or up to a 4-inch swim bait on an 1/8 ounce head. Really like to fish these on light line with a spinning rod, 6-pound line on the 16th ounce heads, 8-pound line on the 1/8 ounce heads, and fishing a medium light to medium action rod for this technique. And this technique really shines in that cold water and in shallow water, fishing in 2 to 6 feet of water over dead or dying vegetation. And it's a really great way to put a variety of fish in the boat. Now when I'm throwing this, admittedly, I'm targeting bass. That's what I like to fish for. But I'm always amazed at the variety of fish I catch when I'm doing this. You know, on a recent trip with this technique, we managed to catch largemouth bass, black crappie, white crappie, chain pickerel, bluegill sunfish, and even yellow perch, which adds just another layer of variety to a fishing trip during the middle of winter. Now, this is a technique that generally won't put larger fish in the boat, but you catch enough 1.5 to 3-pound fish to keep it really interesting. Here we are again, fishing shallow water with the small swim bait. This is a bit better of a fish. So a lot of the fish you've seen today have been relatively small. We've seen a variety, but the thing is if you keep with it, you can catch some better fish as we saw here. Let me get this one back. It just caught it off of a clump of vegetation. I'm really excited to see if we've got another fish on that piece of grass. Scott Herrmann, a regional fisheries biologist over in Region 1, is about to give you some techniques and tactics that he has for methods that I think are more likely to put those 4, 5, and 6-pound fish in the boat for you.
One of the popular techniques for fishing in the winter months of Virginia is the use of jerkbaits, where they're using a floating pattern that dives down to about 1.5 foot or so, floats up to the water surface to attract fish, or one that dives about 3 to 5 foot along the vegetated edge. You know, these fish, these lure patterns pretty much match the hatch in terms of the different patterns. They're very popular to use 6 to 6.5 foot medium spinning combo with about 10-pound monofilament. You know, you can find that, that vegetated edge, whether it's the water willow or some of that deep hydrilla. You can catch a variety of fish, whether it's a largemouth bass, chain pickerel, yellow perch, crappie. You'd be surprised what a lot of these smaller sized jerkbaits can catch during the winter months when the water temperature is, that 38 to 45 degree range. Hey, we're out here on Lake Chesson, caught another nice fish. This one actually is a chain pickerel. You're working a jerkbait off the corner of willow pad, water willow edge there. So that was kind of interesting. So definitely brought a little excitement to the day. You never know what you're going to catch out here in the winter months. So pop this guy out here in a second. So, nice chain pickerel. One of the native fish species we find out here in Virginia. So find some nice solid fish out here on Lake Chesson. So another popular winter fishing technique is the old jig and pig combination. One of the best ways to use these jigging pigs, basically a 7-foot, medium heavy bait casting combination, 14-pound monofilament. You are fishing a little bit heavier cover, whether it's the water willow edge, some of the old hydrilla beds or old fall down trees and branches along the shoreline. Basically these crawfish imitation baits, you're casting them into smaller pockets tight to the vegetation and then hopping them back, maybe about 1.5 foot off the bottom, keeping a tight line tension to it, allows you to catch some of the larger bass or chain pickerel that might be hanging along that vegetated edge as an ambush point. Whether these baits come in like 1/4 ounce to 3/4 ounce, everybody has their special preference, variety of different color combinations along the line. Everybody can kind of find the different trailers that match some of the the good jigs that that are out there. Yeah, it's a surprisingly nice bass. Just caught him just off the edge of the water willow line, about 2.5 feet of water. Real jig and pig combination. Just boom, second cast off that little point there. Nice fish. So we'll pop him out, get a little length and weight on him real quick, and.
Thanks for tuning into this month's fishing report. Hopefully the tactics and techniques that Mike and Scott just outlined will give you some ideas about how to have success fishing shallow water even in the dead of winter. Comment below, let us know what your favorite tactics are for catching fish in shallow water in the winter months. We'll see you next time.